It's showtime. Good evening, everyone. It's C with C. Thanks for coming to chat with me. And this is a Monday meetup where every Monday at 7 p.m. we are talking about traveling and cruising. And today I think we're just going to kind of recap. I usually use this space to kind of get behind the scenes baseball related to my latest content, which for me was my final video of Explorer of the Seas, which was a Royal Caribbean sailing, where I had a pleasant surprise in the black back-to-back process, but an interesting experience in relation to excursions. So today I think we're going to talk a little bit about excursions, and I need to put my phone on quiet because the people are texting. Okay, do not disturb. All right, let's see who we have in the chat. Welcome. And we got some people who are early. We have Nadine. Hi, Nadine. Welcome in. She says, good morning or good morning. Oh, and y'all, I'm like to level of delusionally tired thanks to two things: the daylight saving situation, as well as I thought I was going to be grown. I am a two activity in a day person, really a one activity in a day in a person. And on Saturday, I thought I was going to be good and grown and do three activities all in one day. So on top of my social battery hitting zero and we get robbed an hour, I am delusionally tired. To the point like this morning, I was up at 4:45 a.m. and I was like, well, can't go back to sleep. Might as well work out. But Miss Nadine says, good evening, Carlene and fellow Monday meetup crew. Welcome in, Monday meetup crew. Hope everyone had a lovely day. Yes, hope you all struggled through the day, but made it home. I know I took me a little quick disco nap before this live, and I am quite looking forward to getting back in bed after this live, even though I know I got a couple things to do. But hey, Gina's World. Gina was in here early too, saying hello, seeing chat. Hi, Gina's World. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Miss Didi is in the building saying good evening, see in chat. Good evening, Miss Didi. Thanks for being in here. On the go with Yellow is in here saying hello, happy Monday. Happy Monday, Yellow. I thought about you earlier today because what was it? I know I mentioned a couple of I think maybe last week to both you and Kristen that how the casino deals, the offerings, the ships were kind of not so great casino offers were happening. So I noticed, and I know I didn't see it the first time, but I noticed in my casino deals they slid Wonder of the Seas in on there. But the only issue is right now prices getting down to Miami. I think because it's the spring break season are like through the roof. So I can get there really cheap, but it's that whole round trip situation. So it was like they must have overheard something. So it was cool to see Wonder Seas pop back into the casino deals. Your sis Cassandra is in the building. Hello, Cassandra. And thank you, YOLO, Didi, Gina's World. Everyone, all the members were here early. Thank y'all for being members, channel members. And I owe y'all an update. I might as well just stay here right after the live and record a members update because there's been a lot of some good things happening personally and channel wise. So I owe y'all an update. Gina says, how is the Monday crew doing? How are y'all doing? Where are y'all? Are y'all traveling? Are y'all home? Sorry. I saw a little post nap in the corner of my mouth. I literally popped out of bed at 6:53, and I was like, you got to get to the Monday meetup. You got to get to the Monday meetup. So yeah, how's the Monday meetup crew doing? How are y'all? Where are y'all? Anyone traveling? Anyone at home? Anyone have fun plans for the week? Let us know. Yes, Gina said beautiful weather in NYC. Finally, yes. I walked. It was like sunglasses weather, sunshades weather when I walked out of work today. It was to the point that like they like it got hot in the office because all of a sudden I guess it started warming up outside and they still had the heat going. So yeah. So yes, we finally hit a curve turn. We have probably not hit a curve. We finally hit a turn on the weather. I think I'm finally safely out of pipe dripping season, which I was so thankful. I've mentioned it before, my house is really, really old, like over 100 years old. And so I was so grateful to make it out of this winter without any bursted pipes. I am so grateful. Because yeah, this was a brutal winter. Now, what I did not make it out, cannot mark my safe, what I cannot mark myself safe from is Pepco, which is the electricity company here in DC. My Pepco bill is through the roof. And I'm talking about like I could buy a cruise with my Pepco bill. So I gotta get them on the phone because I'm like, look, friends, I got these trips, but I don't got no electricity money. So yeah, it's supposed to be, I think, 80 tomorrow or so. So yeah, we are finally in thighs out, skies out season. Big Murph and not the little ones in the building. We had a time in with Murph and who was it? Crazy Homebody Girl in the chat on Sunday for the premiere. So if y'all don't know, every Sunday I premiere. Now my little slot has been 12 p.m. on Sundays. I think it's been a good time to kind of premiere and then let it do a slow burn throughout the day. So if you haven't been to a premiere on Sundays, try to get there because I do a lot of like talking about the things that I don't show or have to edit out, or just the random thoughts that I have about the editing process. So we were in the chat chuckling, having a good old time, cackle on Sunday. But Mig Murph is in the building on Sunday in the chat. He says, hey there, happy Monday, seeing everyone in the chat. I hope everyone is doing well. Absolutely. I hope everyone is doing well. And I know I'm gonna be doing better once I just, get adjusted to this whole robbery of time situation. I don't understand why we do it. Like, why do we gotta flip the switch back and forth with time? Somebody let me know. Gina says just for 2 days though, but still. The weather is gonna be nice for 2 days. Yeah, it's gonna take a dip, but we're gonna have a couple good, nice, warm and toasty days. What up, MH Family Adventures in the building? Hey, Rockwell, thanks for being here. Oh, there are ads rolling. Did I set that? That's good to know. Are there ads rolling when y'all watch the live stream? That is not my intention. So please let me know if ads keep popping up during the live stream. And I can make sure I hit some buttons so that we can have an uninterrupted experience. Because my thing is, if you are in here, you deserve the unedited, experience. And we save the ads for Team Replay, which, hey, Team Replay, thanks for being here. Let me know in the comments if you are Team Replay. Gina says, girl, I was sweating today. Child, sweating, and then my upstairs holds heat. So the heat has not been turned off yet. But yeah, I came home and upstairs was a little toasty. But it's good. It's funny. It's like we complain about the cold, then the temperature changed, and we complain that we're too hot. So I'm just happy that I'm able to feel all the feels and that y'all are still living to feel all the feels. Because yeah. Ken Hill's in the building saying, happy Monday, seeing the Monday Meetup crew. Happy Monday Meetup crew is becoming a thing, y'all. All right. Hey, Ken. Thanks for being here, Ken. Good to see you here. Parker's on the go is in the building. Hello, Parker's. Thanks for being here. Saying, hey, fam, and happy Monday. Happy Monday to you all, too. Yellow says the deals have been scarce. I mean, the deals come like every day, every other day. It's just on all of those ships that I sailed at the end of the year when I was just pressed to get my deals finally in. So it's Jewel, Radiance, all the Enchantment of the Seas, and then the West Coast is on sale. This is like a prime time for me. Like, I need to be living in Florida. I'm a manifest living in Florida somehow. Somehow the Lord is going to send me to Florida so that I can just see a random cruise deal and not have to add $400 to the tagline because I got to get a flight down there. I'm putting it out there. But yeah. Hey, Drew, welcome in. Drew says, good Monday evening to all. 6 months to go back to fall. We see, that's why, point exactly, Drew. That's why we're going to enjoy these warm days, because next thing we know, we're going to be back in the darkness and back in coats again. So let's just enjoy it, get some good summer weather. But welcome in, Drew. Drew says, great videos cruising back to back. Thank you. So if you haven't caught it, you know, you like to use the Monday meetup space. Let's get into the chat. To talk about some of the things I wasn't able to talk about, you know, in the editing process. So I wrapped up my series on Explorer of the Seas, which I spent 9 whole days on Explore the Seas. And y'all, here is how fate, God, universe is funny, because I was like, you know what? I'll be good if I never have to get back on this ship again. Well, surprise, surprise. Jokes on you, Carlene. My host announced our annual big travel convention on what ship? Explorer the Seas. So it looks like have sailed. Who would have thought? Explore the Seas would I'm about to be selling Explore the Seas like 3 times. But it was a cool like cruise. I was able to knock out. I spent 9 days on back to back. I think I mentioned y'all, so it was like a 4-day cruise on one half and then a 5-day cruise. Well, the 4-day cruise was a little weird. I think I told you I was like a lot of, you know, adults who were just acting like teenagers, like they had not been out the house for a long time. Then the 5-dayers came on board and they were my speed. It was more diversity in regards to, like, for instance, the 4-day cruise had a lot of people just from Florida. It was like Florida and Georgia. Like everybody was Florida and Georgia. That's it. Then the 5-dayers got on and I met a lot of folks from like Texas. It was just a more diversity in a whole lot of ways, which brought more of a vibe to the ship. Now it wasn't, I mean, it's still Royal Caribbean. It wasn't too vibey. But it brought an interesting, it kind of picked up on the back end. But I showed the back-to-back process. So I had never, no, I take that back. I had did one back-to-back at that point, and that was on Virgin Voyages, which a very different back-to-back process. I enjoyed. I was not expecting. I did not know that when you do back to back on Royal Caribbean, you get invited to a special lunch. Now you do have to kind of wait until 11, so you have to find a spot unless you have the same cabin. When I booked, I guess the same cabins were like not available to do the, you know, same room. So I had to move cabins. But I did not realize you were able to, like, you get a lunch, and it was actually like a good lunch too. Like I was expecting, you know, I'm like, oh, they're gonna give us like, you know, some little grilled cheese sandwich, a little tomato soup, you know, thank us for our service and send us on our way. No, they actually had like a cute little, like, well-printed menu with the thick paper. In the video I showed, there was like some scallops, but they were prepared almost like escargot, but they were scallops. But with that like butter garlic situation, there was a really good pasta. I think they had some braised short rib too. So yeah, that surprised the heck out of me. I did not know that you get a fancy pants lunch when you do back to back. All right, let's get back into the comments a little bit more, and I'll talk more about the rest of the video, which kind of inspired that interesting looking thumbnail. Which I guess our question for today is like, what has been the worst excursion you have ever encountered? Let's rewind before we get to excursion. What is the worst port that you have encountered? Let's start there. Worst port. Start at worst port. What do you think is the worst port for you? For you. Don't be pressured to say, you know, what, you know, the mainstream people always like to poo-poo on. But for you, what is the worst port? Like, whenever you get to that port, you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna just stay here, enjoy the ship. I don't gotta go nowhere. So your sis Cassandra says it was just struggle, and I'm out walking my neighborhood and jump roping. I know that's right. Yeah, I drove through Anacostia Park on the way home, and I was like, ooh, it's walking season. Because there's a trail that goes like, if you go down the back, it's like 4 miles. So yeah, I'm like, I can take my chunk checks outside now. Steph Stone is in the building. Steph Stone and I had the same weather. My good D&B cousin Steph is in the building. Steph, I hope you are enjoying all 74 of these degrees. And welcome everyone. This is my channel. It's the Monday Meetup. My name is Carlene. It's my channel, See It With C. And this is the Monday Meetup, where every Monday we are talking about traveling and cruising. And I am recapping my 9 days on Explore the Seas. But we're kicking off the chat talking about what is the worst port? Nadine Bell says, "Yep, Carlene, the 1 hour ahead takeaway struggle is real." Yeah, and it like I don't know what about it like makes you wake up in the middle of the night and then you're just tired all day. So I'm looking forward to adjusting. I think I crashed because I was up at like 4:45 this morning. If you're following my Instagram stories, so while I'm not traveling, you want to just see like what is Carlene doing? I usually try to update Instagram and Facebook stories, so you can follow me on Instagram on COC, or you can follow me at Carlene Reed on Facebook. So I was up at 4:45 in the morning, and I actually I worked out. Well, that was cute until about 10 o'clock a.m. I hit a brick wall at my desk. So and then when I got in here, I took me another little quick hour and a half nap, and then it was time to come chat with y'all. And I was not going to miss the meetup at all. But I am counting down to being back in bed and trying it all again over again tomorrow. Black Cruise and Family speaking to being the welcoming committee. Thanks for welcoming everybody in, Peter, and saying hello to the whole chat. Hello, everyone. Mark Hackett is in the building saying, "What up, C? Happy Monday." What up, Mark? Thank you for being here. Peter says, "Yes, parked home for a while." Yeah, I actually laid out my content because I was like, I have a ton of content in my camera, so I'm like, I don't really have to travel or whatever. But I finally kind of just laid it out in the calendar. I actually have my little content / business calendar that tells me this is when I want to put out a video. I'm turning it this way because I don't want y'all to see all the business in there. Let's see. But I write down when I'm gonna put out a video. When people final payment dates are, just any reminders that I need to follow up on people's cruises and travels. So I finally mapped out all the content that I have in my camera. And it looks, if I continue to do one video a week, it looks like we can get to April 12th. And then I don't have anything planned until June. So I'm gonna have to figure. I'm gonna either slip in a trip or we have to get creative. I gotta figure it out. But I actually finally sat and laid it out. But yeah, the plan is to stay parked until June to stack up on PTO and some funds. But we'll see. We'll see. I know I have one quick trip, but that's more like channel member content versus putting it on my actual channel content. Which actually, if you all are a New Yorker, it looks like late March I'll be up there. So talking about meetups, I'm debating if I want to go up and come back down. I know it's gonna be by train, but I think about just meeting up with some of you New York folks if y'all are in town. I think it's March 28th ish. So yeah, if you're in NYC, let me know. I have a ticket to a Broadway play, so I was like, do I make a day out of this? Do I make a weekend out of this? So we'll see. Nadine is hoping that Peter and fam are well. Folks are speaking. Yeah, Murph is in the building line already. Murph said, "I will behave tonight." No, you're not. No, you're not. Murph, anytime you're in the chat, you are not behaving. I just approved. I was watching I was watching Team Reach Travels Sunday Shenanigans replay, and there was a couple comments for some reason. Team Reach in the building that I guess the moderators didn't approve, and it was yours and one other person. I think Mama Reese's comment, and I was just like, look at Murph cutting up in the chat. But yeah, so back to the whole thing about Explore the Sea. So it was on for 9 days. Pretty uneventful cruise for the most part, but have we got down to have y'all told me your ports yet? Let's see. I'm sorry. Nadine says, yep, NYC and Long Island had a mini heat wave today. A welcome respite. Yellow says, have you rehired your editor yet? Yes. I look at some of the edit of my videos. I'm just like, why did you do that? Why was your finger there? Why do you put your mic on? Laughing on myself. Peter says ads were on only when I first came in. Okay. Yeah, they should be on at the start, but it shouldn't be where you're in the chat and then it goes to ads and then comes back on. Murph, see, it didn't last long. Mercer's, yes, she is definitely tired. That says my cruising family. And I probably call my bad, y'all. I might say anything this evening. T Reese in the building, talked right on up, says, hey, C in chat, popping in briefly before I head to RJ's band concert. Oh, best wishes to RJ and his band concert. Yes, anytime Peter and Rockwell come in to the chat at the same time, it might be my cruising family, it might be MH family. Like, I'm gonna call them the wrong thing every time. Every time. Because from my end, I just see an M. And from my brain to lips, it's over. On the go, yellow says it was 66 degrees up here in Western New York. Snow will be back by the end of the snow. How you go from 66 degrees to snow? Actually, it was interesting. My mom and I were talking because on this weekend, my mom celebrated her birthday. My mom celebrated 78 years of being on this earth. And it's wild. We were parking at the restaurant, and in the back of the block of the restaurant, there was still snow from the snow ice situation. So, my cruising family says, child, adding flights to these cruises is whoo, yes. Like, I currently see a cruise for like $600-ish, and I don't even know when Florida spring break is, but I'm assuming based on looking at the flights, because it told me that they wanted like $500 to $700 for a flight, the 2.5-hour flight from DC to Miami. So I'm guessing it's probably during spring break time. But yeah, adding flights to these cruises is woo. It's a whole just another budget. It's a whole nother budget to think about. Yellow says those Cali deals have me eyeballing though. And actually flights to Cali are a little cheaper because like for me, I have the Spirit options to go to California. I say option because it's like, well, why don't you take it to Miami or Fort Lauderdale? I don't really care to do it to Miami or Fort Lauderdale. I like to use Spirit out of Baltimore like for a quick Orlando trip. But yeah, it was interesting. Like the flights to California are California prices, I guess. The flights right now to Florida are not, in my head, 2.5-hour flight prices. But Royal also has the bigger ships out in California. So I'm kind of like, do I get on a little not Navigator, but do I get on like, Jewel again? Do I get on whatever, like Radiance, or do I, could I go on the West Coast and hop on a bigger ship? So I do also want to do that just for experience, to see like how it's like to cruise out of California. My cruising family says even the affordable ones add up fast. Yes, for sure. And again, like when I did back to back on Explore the Seas, like I just had to pay taxes and fees. But between, onboard spending, what was helpful over the fall when I did those back-to-back cruises was I had a flight credit. So this is something also you're planning your summer. The summer is coming up. I got 2 flight credits. I got one in April and I got a flight credit in June. I got a $500 credit in April and either like a $1,200 or $15 credit in June for giving up my seat. And so that was helpful, from a cruising lens, because I was able to pair my casino deal with the flight credit. So I will say this is a time of year coming up now where, the airlines are going to have limited seats and they're going to ask for volunteers. I would say hit that maximum button, go into the boarding area and see if they call your name. And honestly, like both times that I've done it, I wasn't too inconvenienced. I might have had to wait. Probably the longest was the $500 deal. And I had to wait like maybe an hour, had to end up connecting through Atlanta. And then the $1,200 or $1,500 credit that I got, that was actually coming back from Rome. And I ended up, again, only having to wait an hour and ended up getting better flights back home. So one flight, they ended up upgrading me to first class for giving up my seat. And instead of me flying, I was supposed to fly all the way to Chicago and then back to DC. I was able to fly, I believe, just to New York and then down. So it was a better flight experience in general. And then when I got to New York, they were like, anybody, we need more volunteers. And the Spirit of the Lord said, take your butt. The Spirit cusses at me. So it was like, take your ass home. So I was like, you know what? We're not going to do no more. We're not going to do no more credits. But if you all have some flexible plans, particularly you solo travelers. You can give up your seat. Ain't nobody waiting for you back, like, at home. It's not gonna mess with no plans. You don't got 2 or 3 people to be flying with. Look out for the opportunities to give up your seat so that you can get some flight credits. Since I literally was flying and I still got like $170 worth left. And that was after all that travel in the fall that I did. Folks are speaking. Rockwell says, yes, flights are crazy right now. Yeah, and for me, it came out of nowhere because I know folks are saying flights were crazy, but I was in my head, I'm like, to get from DC to the Florida area, whether it be Fort Lauderdale, Miami, or Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Orlando, it's usually about 250 to 350. Like, that's my range. I'm expecting that. I kind of don't want to pay 350, but that's usually the typical range. And right now we're at 440 or higher for like looking at April. So because I have 2 Wonder of the Seas deals, like for April 10th to April 27th. But when I look at the flights, I'm like, that Wonder of the Seas deal just became like a Wonder of the Seas nightmare. Hey, Quality Childcare. Did I ever respond back to your email? I don't know if I saw an email from you. I know you, thanks for being here first. But I saw your direct message saying that you emailed me. And when I checked, I didn't have any emails from anyone. So just making sure that like you didn't get a bounce back or that I responded to your email, let me know. But it's cosc@gmail.com. So reach out again if I didn't respond to you. I know sometimes the names and the what is it? Your name and your screen name don't necessarily match. But I just want to let you know I saw your DM. But I didn't see any email from you. So I wasn't sure if it bounced back or something. Folks are speaking. G's in the building. Welcome in, G Fox. Thanks for being here. And the question that we're doing to kick off things is, what is the worst port for you? Like, what do you think is the worst port stop? Like, the port stop that you encountered that you're like, I don't ever have to do this again. I don't have to get off the ship. What is that port for you? Let's talk about it. Because so when I was on Explorer of the Seas, which was my newest video, I finally decided to do a excursion in Freeport, because in the immediate area of the Freeport cruise port is not a ton to do. It's a few kiosks of food. I've ate at a couple of those kiosks. It's not the best in regards to like the Bahamian food. So doesn't have the best conch salad. And I've tried 2 stalls. I might be going to the wrong stalls now, but the two stalls that I've tried, their conch salad wasn't good. Conch fritters weren't good. So, I was like, okay, when I go, I'm gonna try to get off the port. And something else that I noticed was the last time I actually like hung out at the port in Grand Bahama / Freeport was when my family did Carnival Legend, and we had a good old time. They closed. It used to be a Senor Frogs, I believe. And then there was this other bar. I can't remember what it's called, Willie's or something. But my cousin and I, we hung out there. Well, they've closed both of those bars. There's no more. What did I say the bar was? There's no more Senor Frogs. It was empty, just empty. Didn't look like closed for the day. It was like shut down, closed. And then the other bar that we went to was closed. So I'm not sure if there are any like plans to revamp Freeport Cruise Port, but it's not a lot, nothing to do. So I decided to give me a shore excursion from Shore Excursions Group, and try out a beach club, which was the Taino Beach Club. It was a part of a hotel. So the price was right. I will say it was about a $59, for a day pass. However, be sure when you're doing your third party excursions, check the fine print, which I knew, but not just check the fine print and, but also price. So, check the fine print said like, all right, you have to secure your own transportation. And it gave a price. But then when I got to Freeport, I felt like the price was a little more. And it was just me. So I ended up having to kind of wait and do a little hustling, because I was kind of like, well, I know somebody else is going to be going to this beach club, because they were like, oh, it's like 60 round trip or something like that. They said that they wanted to pay. I had to pay by myself. And so I just was like, well, I'm gonna sit on this white tent. I know somebody else is coming here. Y'all just throw me in the cab with them. So sure enough, they just told me to sit. There was one family who pre-purchased Taino like me, and then there were some other people who they finagled into going to Taino Beach Club. So that added another, I can't remember how much, I think I said in the vlog how much it was. They ended up charging us a price, each way. It was definitely cheaper than me having to pay $60 round trip out of pocket, because that all of a sudden turns a $55 excursion into like $110 excursion. And if you saw the video, for me, it wasn't $110 worth. The beach club in itself kind of could have been like, I could see the promise, the potential if there was a group. Now y'all might have to, commandeer and play DJ iPod a little bit. But it was very, very empty. And on the ride there, the cabbie was just basically telling us about the hurricane that wrecked shop in like 2016 that they haven't recovered from. Apparently, there's like some development deals that were supposed to happen but have fallen through. There used to be a pharmaceutical plant that was supposed to happen that fell through. So, if you have Grand Bahama on your itinerary, be prepared for either that to be a ship day or not to have a ton to do. Or if you're like, I really want to do Grand Bahama Freeport for some reason, I recommend you do it on Carnival, because at least you have like the Celebration Key situation with the option to catch a cab to other places in Freeport. Now, what I did learn was there's I think for like a little cheaper, like maybe a $10 ride or something like that. I think it's a beach called like the Pirates Cave Beach or something like that. I hope I didn't give it the wrong name. But apparently there's a local beach that there's some shuttles that run from the cruise port, and a lot of people were going there. So I think if I ever am back on Royal Caribbean and had that itinerary, I have to stop through Grand Bahama, I will probably just hop over to that local beach and check that out, because I have not experienced that yet. My cruising family says, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. If you appreciate the Monday meetup, hit the thumbs up. Yes, hit the thumbs up if you appreciate the meetup. It rhymes. And we got our first person answering the question of the evening for you. What is the worst port? And I agree. That Progreso, Mexico is basura caliente. Hot trash. Yeah, Progreso, I got off the ship, walked to the cabs, and luckily that little shuttle that takes you through the industrial area just stopped running. So I walked through the shops, made a U-turn, come back, and then you have to be careful with the picture people at Progreso, because if they jump in, you get a snapshot with them, you're paying for it. So yes, Progreso needs a little TLC. Agreed. Aventurers is in the building. Welcome in. She says, what's popping? Hey, I see you all recovered from your 24-hour live stream. I was hanging in there a little bit, maybe like an hour or so. And then as soon as I logged in, I saw Fats asleep. So I'm gonna have to like fast forward through the live stream, see how y'all turned out. Was it Friday and a Saturday? I can't remember my days. I run together. Oh, it had to be Friday to Saturday, because Saturday I was out and about. My cruising family is saying, dang, what has been the worst port for us? I would say like Progreso, and then Freeport is not a great port when you're on Royal Caribbean for me, or on Margaritaville at Sea. So when I went on Paradise, I made that a ship day. The Freeport day. Big Murph saying, hello, y'all done hibernating yet? Definitely have to recover from that 24-hour live stream. I gotta just fast forward to see like what the logistics were there. My cruising family says, thankfully, I really haven't had a bad port all this time. That's good. That's really good. Peter says, I can say, and here's some little cruising actual factuals, that some ports are very industrial. Good point. Which is why for me, I don't like European cruises, the Mediterranean cruises as much, because I feel like in the Med, you're going to get a lot of industrial ports. I know you have to get out and go around and sightsee. I think I kind of like rather fly into Europe than cruise Europe. Because I think I'm a pretty much like a ocean, beach stop, rum punch kind of person, versus like cruising for like history and culture. But a lot of the ports in Europe are pretty industrial when you pull in. But Peter says Martinique is very industrial. Guadeloupe, Panama. That's interesting. That Panama is an industrial port. Because I've only been to Panama City. But you look at the city, I was like, oh, it's kind of new, but they must pull you on the outskirts of the city. But she says, but the port days were still great because we booked our tours to really good spots. Absolutely. So yes, picking your tours, picking your excursions wisely, and just being willing to try some things out. Because in my head, I was like, I saw the Taino Beach Club situation, but I gave it a try. But it just is kind of like a one and done, which, it happens. Like, not everything can be a hit. So I would say it was kind of a miss. I can see the potential in the Taino Beach Club that I showed as, like maybe getting your group together, organizing some transportation. I really like the grotto situation that they had. But it was just the beach was nice, but it was just like too quiet. And food and drinks were not included. Who else we got? My cruise family says, I'm really thinking about it though. There's gotta be a not so great one. Well, that's a good perspective because I know like Keisha H left a really good comment on the vlog. Just saying like, any day on a cruise is like better than, thugging it out at home. So in perspective, it's like, while it might not be our favorite, it's definitely, better than what we're saying. 64 degrees and snow. Mickey's Adventures in the building saying happy Monday. Happy Monday, Mickey. Thanks for being here. My cruise family, I'm surprised no one said Nassau. That's because we aren't the I hate Nassau demographic in this chat. As for me in my house, we like stopping at Nassau. I like a good Nassau day because I still feel like there's so much stuff that I have yet to still see and do in Nassau. But every now and then, like if it's a short cruise, I will stay on board. And if it's a short cruise and I really like the ship, I'll stay on board in Nassau. It's not that I don't like Nassau, that I feel unsafe in Nassau and all the other BS. It might truly be like when I went on Disney Wish. I was like, this beautiful new Disney ship. I went on Disney Wish in its inaugural season. And I was like, I know I'm gonna come back to Nassau. So I just stayed on board that day. And I think MSC or was it Celebrity Ascent? That day, I think I just walked off to get a picture of the ship, for my thumbnail, and I got back on because I know I'm gonna be back in Nassau. But I always have a good time in Nassau, and I have to put out the what was it on one of those trips? I haven't put out the video yet. I joined the Junkadoo Parade in Nassau, so don't be scared of Nassau. I think it's a good time. Decent beach, everything's pretty convenient, lots of options. My cruise services, girl, folks gonna have to be okay with Disney Destiny content till next trip, or we'll just rest the channel until then. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna stretch it or add a trip. My cruise services, when you come in, text me. I will. I'm coming on. I'll be in New York March 28th. I'm just debating if I want to. I'm coming up there to see Cats, the Jellicle Ball. So it's Cats, the Broadway show remix, which Cats traumatized me on Aces of the Seas. But there's a ballroom remix of Cats coming to New York. So I'm coming up March 28th. But I'm debating if I want to just catch the train up and back, or if I'm gonna like stay one night and then come back to DC the next day. Because the piece of me, I want to do Dallas. I know it's like overrated, but for me, it was like one of the first time I ever went to New York. I stopped at Dallas BBQs. So I know it's not like the best restaurant, but like I want one of those big drinks and I want like the ribs that they have. I know it's like 1,000 better meals in NYC, but I want to stop at Dallas BBQs. Steph Stone says, I haven't been on enough cruises to really have a worst cruise port yet. Fair. But I definitely hate when I get to a port in the Caribbean and it ends up pouring down raining. And I was thinking, like, what's one of my best cruise experiences? And it was Grand Cayman. And we actually just like found a taxi stand, let them pick a beach club for us. And they just took us to this beach club that was really good. In the middle of being there, it started raining, and we were partying in the pool, like in the rain, just partying in the pool, because we were just like, it was wild. It was like people got out of the pool, and we were like, you're gonna get wet anyway. So but yeah, definitely like those downpours when you're like, okay, we're gonna get the lovely, crystal blue waters. We're gonna enjoy the sun and sand, and Mother Nature is like, no. Particularly when it's like those days when the weather doesn't clear up, because usually in the Caribbean, it might be a quick little downpour. And about 20 minutes later, like things aren't going to pop in. But those days when it just rains and won't let up, those are prime cruise ship nap days. So let's see. Murph is starting stuff. I thought you were behaving. I don't even know why we believe you. Let's see. Folks are speaking. We're still cutting up. Apparently, it's 70 degrees in Brooklyn. Y'all enjoy. Get a nice patio dinner. Oh, thank you. Rocco says, happy birthday to your mom. 78 years is a blessing. Yes, 78 years is definitely a blessing. And then in May, my dad will be, I lose track. I just told him, I'm stop calculating. I think my dad is 83, but also been feeling like I've been saying he's been 83 for like the last 2 years. So it is who else again? Shaw Rose in the building saying, hey, see and chat peeps. Hi, Shaw Rose. Thanks for being here. Thanks for wishing my mom a happy birthday. I'm gonna tell her, Mom, my YouTube friends say happy birthday to you. Cruising Capers is here since 81 degrees in Charleston, South Carolina. Wow. Okay, y'all skipped spring and went straight to summer. I also feel like I'm overdue for Charleston and all that good food down there. Let's see. Yellow says when she's picking a trip, she's going with the cheaper flight. Makes sense. Save some money. Gina says, let us know. Would love to meet you in person. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I have I think I have the 4:00 showing. So maybe y'all gotta find me a hotel. It sounds like don't play myself and try to come back home today. So I gotta find me I'm now need to hit y'all up. What are some good recommendations for hotels to stay if you go to Broadway? But then we'll also get me close to Dallas BBQs. But they're also close to my show. And then I'm asking for too much. And then I can be able to get back to the Moynihan train station. But yeah, I have a ticket. March 28th is when I will be in NYC. So yeah, would love to connect, folks. Sure. Let's see. It's a meetup. A whole in-person meetup. Mercer's not the spirit cussing you out. My spirit cusses. It does. Because I'm a kind of like hard head, I need to get cussed at kind of person. So the spirit gotta be a little forceful with me sometimes, and then I listen. So we have this whole thing. we have this whole thing. It's like my form of spirituality. Merv says I might need to leave out 2 days ahead of my next cruise. I'm using my friend's buddy pass again. You got me nervous. See, yeah, but now which airline is the buddy pass on? Because and when is your next cruise? Because I would say time of year, airline, yeah. Because some of the airlines have been cutting up right now related to cancellations that nobody knows about. And then I've been hearing reports, but I'm not sure if it's true, that like TSA in Houston, TSA in New Orleans have had severe delays due to the Department of Homeland Security is on partial shutdown. No, are they on full shutdown? Yeah, they're the only ones who are still shut down because they haven't got their continuation funding. So last time, y'all remember when the shutdown was happening, they started reducing the number of flights because air traffic controllers were impacted. Of course, it's really the air traffic controller people that they'll kind of minimize the number of flights, but TSA are the ones who gives you the slower check-in process. So I would say it depends on what the airline is, how reliable their buddy pass system is. I've only flown buddy pass one time. It was on American, and we were able to buddy pass it going down. We were going to Orlando to meet up with a friend. Got on the first thing smoking 5 o'clock flight out of DC. They had a bunch of seats open, so we knew we were going to get flights going, but coming back, we all had to end up splitting up. And I think I ended up on Southwest or something just to get home. Then my homegirl who had the buddy pass hookup, I think she just kind of hung around Orlando till Monday. Or she called like 11 o'clock flight out of Orlando. So it's definitely living on the edge, Murph, with the buddy pass crew. But it's a perk to have for sure. Keep that friend. Never piss them off. Team Reed says, I want to cry every time I look at flights. I don't even look no more. I have to put that all on Ray because I can't. Yeah. And like I am learning now that I'm like starting to book more families. Like the cost of trying to fly with a family of 4 and family of 5, like that's like almost a suite on a cruise just for the flights themselves. So, and we're not even talking about like getting on the ship. So it's definitely them flights be fighting. And they're talking about just the impact of whatever this, I don't know. We fighting people in the Middle East situation, the impact on gas. Even though they were like the magical hike in gas over the weekend was like made up because then it dropped again 85 cents. So it's just weird times. It's weird times in general, but the weird times are also impacting flights. My cruise name says yes, buddy passes can be nerve wracking. Can be, but like it's a bomb perk. Like I know I had a homeboy who went to Ghana. He flew both ways on the buddy pass, and I think one of the ways ended up in Delta's. It wasn't Delta One just yet, but it was I think Delta's first class product. However, like almost 10ish years ago. On a buddy pass, but you got to be flexible because you just don't know what day you're gonna leave, what time. Seth says I need to buy the flights as soon as I pay on cruises because the last minute flights are too much for me right now. Yeah, I never do last minute flights. I think I've only encountered one time where I had an opportunity to get a deal on a last minute flight. For me, usually the flights just continue to go up. I've never seen a situation, minus last year when I went to Portugal. I bought a ticket early and it went from $1,500 to like $900. That's rare for me. Usually I'm the person that I see the flight at one price and then an hour later, if I don't buy it, it's like $50 to $75 more. And then I'm mad. So yeah, I definitely, but usually once I pay off a trip, that's when I look at the flights and lock those in. So even like Ultimate Solo Group Cruise, I have a flight to get down there to Ultimate Solo Group Cruise. I don't got a flight coming home yet, but I don't mind being homeless in Fort Lauderdale. Let's see, folks stand for real. Okay, so send me another email. No worry. Yes, please send me another email. If you don't hear from me, that means I didn't get it. So just make sure see it with C at gmail.com. SEEITWITH. C, the letter C at gmail.com. Thank you. Looking forward to your email. And yeah, if y'all ever hit me up and don't hear a response, it's probably I didn't get the email. Like there might be times that I look at the email and I might not respond immediately, but I see it. But if you don't hear from me like in a day-ish, that means I didn't get it. That's just general information. I'm not really for you, Carly. Just letting people know. Victoria, Yellow says her worst port is Progresso. Ditto. I've only been to Progresso once and literally did a U-turn. No, it wasn't Carnival Legend. It was Carnival Pride. But I wasn't complaining because I got that cruise for $138. That was one of those, C-word cruises in the middle of the situation. The vapors, as Seniors likes to call it. And that's actually what got me hooked on cruising now and then the whole cruise YouTube community. I found around a 7-day cruise, $138, Carnival Pride, leaving Baltimore. So I didn't have to buy a flight, and 2 weeks out from the cruise. And so I started watching YouTube to prepare me for the cruise. And then I started I started seeing all the different cruise YouTube channels. And that's kind of what started the journey, even though like if you're a channel member, I had started vlogging, so that my first vlog is there, but I kind of gave up after halfway through the first day. So my first official kind of vlog is in the membership. But my true full length first vlog was Enchantment of the Seas out of Baltimore on Royal Caribbean. But yeah, that Progresso situation. And it's like I know that there's so many plans to like we're gonna redo Costa Maya. We're going to create all these new private islands, but it's like, who is saving Progresso? Who's going to save Freeport from the boring? Help. Cruising Caper says Freeport and Half Moon Cay. I'll pass. And see, Half Moon Cay is one of my favorite beaches. I love that beach. The only downside about Half Moon Cay is you have to tender. So that's the downside. But I love the ribs on Half Moon Cay. I love those ribs so much. And then when the water is right, you can go way out from the shoreline and it's still like hitting your knees. In my cruiser areas in the building saying, hey, Carlene. Hey, Melina. Thanks for being here. Fox Den says definitely Freeport. Okay. The question was, what's your worst cruise port? Charo says Costa Maya. The last time I went, it was wall to wall people. Whoa. My people battery was on empty. And see, the next time I go to Costa Maya, I have to stay in the cruise port because my first and only time going to Costa Maya was on Carnival Jubilee. And we went to, what's it called? Crazy Lobster. We went to the Crazy Lobster. That's when the cab driver tried to hit us with the whole, oh, they're closed. Nah, he wanted to take us to his like auntie's spot. But it'll be interesting to see Costa Maya. Does anybody know whenever Royals Beach Club situation is supposed to open up at Costa Maya? But I do want to experience the like actual, because there's a lot of stuff like right in the port at Costa Maya. But I can see definitely how it can get crowded in some of those pools. And then somebody had a vlog where the pool in Costa Maya, it just looked like y'all been standing around peeing on each other all day. My cruising family says, I was listening in during your premiere yesterday, and girl, you were like one and done. It was very much one and done. Like, I don't mind a super quiet experience, but it's just the place looked old. Yeah. It was just a lot of, I don't know, but it was better than hanging out the cruise port. But I definitely think the next time I go to Freeport, I'm gonna try that beach, the Pirate Beach. I can't remember what they call it. It's like a local beach somewhere. You can get a quick little cheap shuttle service there, and apparently that's supposed to be better. Now, if that spot doesn't work, whatever the local beach is, then I'm giving up officially on Freeport, and I want somebody to come save it. My cruising family says that was a nice little area you found with the music and vibe for a minute though. Oh yeah, the grotto was cool, and I wish I would have went over there earlier. So when I first came into the hotel, now they did say it kind of picks up around spring break, but I don't plan on going back to find out. But the grotto pool area, it was quiet when I first pulled up or when I first filmed it, and then the shuttle driver was like, oh, I'm gonna pick y'all up at I think like 2:30 or something like that. So about 1-ish, I started walking over, to get ready to go be picked up. So something was like go back in the grotto. And later in the day, they actually were playing like more variety of music, hip hop, Caribbean music, and then the bar was popping. So I wish I would have known that it was like what time the grotto opened up, and I would have spent more time in there. But it was a true quiet reading beach day for sure. Chris Kevin says, I watched the video. The beach was very empty. Yes. And it was Taino Beach Resort, which I was asking, what resorts are there at Freeport? So literally it's only like 3 currently functional resorts at Freeport. So that Taino Beach is one of them. The one that you all see in the one that you'll see in MH Family Adventures vlog and Team Reese's vlog, Pelican Bay. And there's one more. Those are the 3 functional resorts that if you fly into Freeport that you can actually stay at. So I showed one of them. They'll show another one. So yeah, it's a lot of potential in Freeport, but it just keeps saying all the development deals just keep falling through for some reason. Team Reach Travel says Freeport definitely looked a little rundown when we were rolling through there. Yeah, and literally the cab driver made it a tour out of like is being desolate. In my cruising area, since I went to the Pirates Cove place while I was there on Celebrity Reflection. Beach chairs, comp, and drinks there. I will go back again since there's nothing else to do. Okay, good to know. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, I think that's like on my list. It's like I want to try one more thing, at Freeport. And then after that, I think I'm going to be officially like good on Freeport. But it sounds like that's the spot to go to. And you can catch a really cheap cab to get there. Now be prepared, pack your patience a little bit because just the beginning of just kind of getting the cabs running. Like it took a while just to get like enough cabs in that area. But I think for Pirates, they might have like a little open air bus situation that runs pretty frequently. I'm not sure, but everybody, when you're in Freeport, try out that Pirates Cove spot. It seems like that's the place to go. On the go, yo says, yep, Progresso and Freeport for me all day, every day are her not so great ports. My cruising family says we actually have not been to Freeport or Progresso. You're not missing anything, unless it's a ship that you really want to be on. Which I'm not an itinerary person. I'm a ship person. But yeah, just know when you pull up to Freeport and Progresso, just set the bar to hell because it's he said that's probably because you're more of an itinerary person, Peter. She says that's probably why I haven't had a worse stop. Yeah, your itinerary for the most part itinerary oriented, unless you know it's like a ship that you really want to get on. Eventure says worst port for me is Fort Lauderdale and Miami. T says coming home is the worst and fair. T says, man, listen, that 24 hours was actually 38 hours. Oh my gosh. Since I worked that Friday, but it was a great experience. Yeah, I tuned in for the lady with the chicken coop was talking, and then it was cool to meet what was it called? Essential Oils, the oils gentleman out the Midwest. He's in Colorado. I watched their 2 presentations, and then it was time for me to get in bed on Friday. So I gotta scan through that one to see what all y'all did for 24 hours. That's amazing. And yes, you are a trooper for executing that, T, for sure. On the go, yellow says of all the European ports, I think Santorini was my least favorite. Now I keep hearing that about the girl Santorini, that she's overrated. It was okay, just not my favorite. Fair. Yeah, I hear like it's just like a lot of standing line. It's hot. It gets crowded. So Damien and Quanda in the building. What up, y'all? I just realized y'all were on a ship. And I DM Quanda asking what ship y'all were on. I love that picture of y'all, you and the boys, Quanda, looking out the ocean view window, doing sail away inside in the air condition. Folks are speaking. Hey, it's just J Renee. Thanks for being here. She says, love the hair. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. I was just watching your Aqua, the recap video that you did on Norwegian Aqua. So thanks for being here. If y'all are selling Norwegian Aqua, it's just J Renee has a series, and then she also did like a tips kind of video. So check that out. On the go, y'all. I like Nassau. I like Nassau too. I just don't understand like the Nassau rage baiting, because I mean you get good beaches, the people are cool, like there's something to do for everyone. I don't get it. Getting line says Senor Frogs used to be the spot at Freeport. Yeah. The first time I was there was that Pride? Carnival Pride. I posted up at Senor Frogs. And then when you were in the Freeport area, you can like kind of hear the music at the port, but I don't know what it somehow between, I think it was a couple years that have not been to Freeport on the Royal Caribbean side. And sure enough, it was like closed, and not like we're closed for the day. It was closed, like the planks were old. They hadn't washed them, nothing for a while. My cruising family says, me too. Sometimes I stay on board if it's a ship I want to explore more, but it's a good port. Yeah, it's a solid port. Cruising Caper says, Tanya, y'all were great until my eyes gave up. Fair. Just J Renee says, I want to see the Jellicle Ball. I'm going on the 28th. Buy a ticket on the 28th, the 4 o'clock. I think it's the 4 o'clock, whatever the earlier show is. It's 2 shows that day. I'm going to I think it was the 4 o'clock show. And apparently we're having a meetup in New York because I think half the chat. I don't know if y'all want to like coordinate something. I don't know how to coordinate everybody. Maybe I'll put a post. Maybe I'll put a post on my YouTube and say like, I don't know, let's figure out a way to hang out, or email me. I don't know. We're gonna figure something out. But I do want to hang out with the NYC crew. So that means I have to make a day, more than a day out. I have to make a day out of it at least. Find me a New York City hotel. Merv says, you hear so much negativity about Nassau, but I'll have my first true experience in July. I'll be at Royal Beach Club later this month. Yeah, so that don't count. Royal literally built Royal Beach Club just so that, because they are the demographic that likes to complain about Nassau. I'll be at Royal Beach Club later this month, and Royal Caribbean built Royal Beach Club just for that. Now, I mean, I know Nassau is pretty much outsourced to the Chinese, because in my head, if I were Nassau, I would be like, no, like y'all can't have this sliver of land just for people to try to like escape us. Like you are still going to keep coming downtown. We'll build your little pool or something down there. But this whole, like, we're going to build a whole private island just because your folks don't feel safe in Nassau, blasphemy. But it's going to be interesting because I think the hype around Royal Beach Club is going to wear off. So it's going to get to a point that it's going to be empty over there. But it's still going to be popping for a bit, particularly if you're going later later this month starts spring breakish. So it might be a good vibe over at Royal Beach Club. And then Mercy's, I'll report back in July. Yes, report back with the true Nassau experience. You got to do the walk to Junkanoo. You got to stop through Senor Frogs. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff. And then Nassau now has the full, cruise port. Which even that, every time I go to a new port, is something new. There's like a new bar, a new restaurant, a new shop, a new something. So, it's just your Cats is one of my favorite shows. And see, I saw Cats on Oasis of the Seas, and they said it was a full Broadway play. So in my head, I was like, I'm gonna go watch Cats because the saves me a ticket of going to Broadway. And I was just curious about who was going to the Jellicle Lair at that point. Like I was just locked in for that. Then people didn't realize that Cats was like a Broadway, so they had their kids. I don't know what they expected, but they didn't realize it was gonna be a full 2-hour production. So the kids were falling out in the aisles. It was a mess, but I'm looking forward to seeing a spin. And particularly like the opening, this opening season. You got, was it Laomi? Is I think has her hands in it. Then Cynthia Erivo and who's the other lady? Cynthia Erivo and her girlfriend, which I should not be calling her girlfriend because like the lady has her own. The name is escaping me. She has her own production rights, like a beast in her own right, but her name is escaping me at the moment. Lena Waithe. Cynthia Erivo and Lena Waithe are producers. So. Then you have like one of the original folks from The Wiz. You have, I think, one of the original Cats. So yeah, I'm excited, and I have not been to Broadway in so long. I'm trying to think, my last play might have been like when Brandy was in Cinderella or when Nene was in Chicago. So it's been a while since I've been up there just for. My Christmas service Dallas BBQ's works. Okay, so we're making it a date because I guess so. Maybe we can meet up after the show. Because the show is at 4, and so it should take me maybe like a 7 o'clock meetup, 7:30 to be safe. We'll work this out. Mickey says I saw Cats years ago for music review for music class in college and loved it. Okay, all right, Cats. I mean, Phantom of the Opera is like the longest running play, I believe, but Cats is up there. Cats is up there for sure. Getting Line says Freeport is my least favorite. What else? For sure, yeah. I think Freeport has potential, but it's just nobody has touched it for some reason, or for some reason all the deals keep falling through. Outside of Carnival getting the Celebration key up. Good point. This is why I be talking to y'all. I will do that for sure. Because I'm going to need a Leslie Ann Wright, Jesus. Getting line says, when is your next Disney trip? I'm hoping to get down there in April when Melanin at Sea is doing a meetup at Epcot. But again, the flights are my holdup at the moment. Flights and PTO are my holdup because I literally need to save all my PTO for like the rest of the year. So it might have to be like call out slick. But I'm hoping I can get down to Epcot to do eating, drinking around the world with Melanin at Sea. Won't be able to get on the cruise ship, but hoping to meet the folks down there since I think it's open to everyone, I believe. But then outside of that, I won't be going. I'll be hosting Epcot Food and Wine Festival in October. So October 9th through 11th, 2026. But it seems like if I can find me a decent flight, and I actually have a Spirit airline credit I need to use before Spirit allegedly goes under. But my holdup is I need to go up to Baltimore to pay for the ticket because I love the cheap deals when you walk up to the counter at Spirit. But I have like a $226 credit that I need to use on Spirit before April 26th-ish. So I'm eyeballing hopping down to Melanin to see, maybe do a down and back or stay one night and come back. Let's see. Big Murph says on American Airlines March 30th. Yeah, I had a good experience doing American's buddy pass. It's pretty much you know how to do it. But I think Americans are pretty reliable on their buddy pass system. It's just literally look for the seats. B said March 30th. So that's spring break time, March 30th. Oh, but it's the middle of the week. So you might not be bad when does the cruise ship come back on April 3rd? Yeah, that's gonna be the kicker because I think they're probably gonna have, and it's out of Miami. Because when I was looking at American had like a bunch of early morning flights, which were like I can cut it close on cruise ships. Usually I can do like a 9:00 flight out of Miami and frequently make it. But American only had like the 6:30 a.m. flights, 7, like the ones that were too close, the ones you're not gonna actually truly make. But if I can find a 9:00 flight out of Miami, I'll hop on it in a heartbeat. But yeah, Murph, I mean, just be prepared for maybe getting down there, but you might have to have a plan B for getting back. Or be willing to take that red eye back home. DNQ says something is going on with Spirit Airlines and they are not talking about it because this is now the 4th person I done found who done got their flights canceled on Spirit. So I think they're about to go under. I need to go buy that damn ticket before they go bankrupt. Because Jen was mentioning Spirit canceling, Melina mentioned Spirit canceling. There was one more person Spirit canceled on, and then now you're saying your brother. Something's going on with Spirit Airlines. I'm not sure if they're impacted by like maybe with Homeland Security being down and the reduction in flights or what's going on, but something's interesting happened. So Damien Aquana says, well, Spirit canceled my brother's flight with no explanation Saturday night and missed the cruise. Something's going on. Keep y'all ears to the ground about Spirit. Something's going on. This is the 4th person I done heard. Spirit left them high and dry. I need to use my credit before those bankruptcy claims because they keep saying like, oh, we bounce back. Oh, everything's gonna be all right. But then people are undergoing. This is the 4th person who had like a cancellation on Spirit. That's interesting. They said we were supposed to be on the same flight, but we decided to drive a whole other state for our flight, and we made it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, y'all have your plan B and your good travel insurance if you flying a good girlfriend Spirit because she cutting up again. Because I remember like when I first started traveling, and this is before like Spirit had all these like rumor, the stereotype about quote unquote whatever stereotype about Spirit, but it literally was like Spirit could never get their pilots to the plane, so they would have a lot of cancellations, and then Spirit's pilots would frequently go on strike. So I stopped flying Spirit because in my head I was like, I need reliable transportation, and this is before all the stuff, viral moments on planes, all that stuff. It was literally Spirit's pilots would either time out on too many hours flown, and they couldn't get to their plane, or they would go on strike, all kind of stuff. So they're just not reliable to me. But then they got reliable, and I like their little clean. Their planes are pretty clean, but recently it's like the fourth person who done got canceled on Spirit. Have a backup plan, y'all. Let's see. Sheila White says I would probably cruise more if flights weren't so expensive. Yeah. That, and then it's wild because then they take advantage of, like, for those of us who do have the ports that are drivable. So, like, you know, for me, I can drive to, technically I can drive to Bayonne, I can drive to New York, I can drive to Baltimore, I can drive to Norfolk. Well, particularly Norfolk, they put a premium on those cruises. So even though I can, which I need a price to see, like, does it then balance out? But in my head, like, I don't want to pay, like, I don't know, $1,500, $1,800 for a Carnival Sunshine, just because I can drive to it. So that's the only thing we pay. We pay the Northeastern tax because all those ships are easy to get to. But the Northeast is having a rotation of ships. I believe I heard Freedom, Noel Tell Freedom is coming up to Norfolk. Baltimore is getting 2 Carnival ships. I thought I heard Miracle and one other maybe. And then NYC is getting Firenze, which I'm excited about, possibly getting up there to get on Firenze. And then I don't know what Newark is getting. I think whatever ship Newark is getting, not Newark. What do you call Bayonne is getting? I'm not excited about that because I feel like I've already been on it. I think Independence is coming up here at some point, Independence of the Seas, but I've already sailed it. So yeah, it's just like the ones I can drive to are just a premium in price. Speaking of East Coasters, welcome in Together We Travel. Saying hello, everyone. Hi, neighbors. Thanks for being here. Ordinary Guy NYC, welcome in. I think you're newish to the channel. I think first I'm seeing your name here. Says, just bought a flight for a May cruise. I was going to wait to buy one for my September cruise. May have to do it now. Yeah, I would say try to buy some of these flights earlier than usual, because whatever they're doing in, like, the Middle East, whether it actually impacts oil supplies or not, some of the speculation is impacting prices. So I think if you see a price that you like in your range, just go ahead and buy it. Thank you, Peter, for right now. That's my email for anybody trying to reach me or book your cruise or have any questions or want to coordinate the NYC meetup. It's seeitwithc@gmail.com. Those, I even mess up and fat finger it. Watch out for those eyes and make sure they're all in there. Hi, Naya. Thanks for being in here, girl. Says, hey. C said, don't even move the bar at Progressive Freeport. Have no expectations. The expectations are in hell. If you keep the bar there, it will not disappoint you. Rooted in essential oils. Yes, those are the 2 segments I saw. Oh, we get a question. First question of the night is from Ken Hill saying, 8 nights to the ABC Island for $850 inside. Yes. Book it and hit me up. Book it and let me book it for you. Absolutely. $850. That's $100 a night. A little over $100 a night. And you get all 3 islands, the A, the B, and the C. That's a good deal, Savannah. Book it. No problem. Let's see. Big Merchant, speaking of NCL, I heard they are charging for shows now $45. I have not heard that yet. But if they are charging $45, they have lost their damn mind. Now, the only show I would pay extra to see, just because I am a stan, I want to see that Prince show on Aqua. I would pay $45 for that. But I am not, like, when I'm on the ships, I don't like shows because in my head, I'm like, I have this whole cruise ship, all of these elements to explore for me to be sitting in somebody's theater for like an hour, just staring at people on stage. But they're tripping. They actually charging for their shows were decent. I saw the Donna Summer show when I was on Prima. I thought that show was good. I didn't think Donna Summer show was great, but it was good. It was a good show. Of course, I want to see the Prince show. I heard that was good, but unless they want an empty theater, NCL better stop playing. Are they asking for for now? If you want like a prime seat, because that was probably the only thing that I encountered when I was on Prima was you got to get there like to the place like ridiculously early. And as a solo, it was easy for me to find a seat. But if you're looking for like prime seats, maybe. But I don't know. If you see an article or something, Merce, send it my way because I had not heard that just yet. But good to know. Good to know. Let's see. Damian Quanah went live for at dinner. It's just when they said if you are doing a 2 p.m. show, I could do that. Let's see, because this is why I shouldn't yell my schedule out at the top of my head, but I have it in my calendar. I thought it was a 4, but maybe it is 2. Yep, it's 2 o'clock. Why am I shouting out 4 o'clock? So yeah, I'm at the 2 o'clock show on the 28th for Cat's Jellicle Ball. So then that means I can move up my BBQ's time. So I guess we'll be done by 4:30. So maybe we can do Dallas BBQs like 5. I was just giving out the wrong times. Yep, I have a ticket for the 2 o'clock show. Big Murph says, I heard they are started with Luna, but it's supposed to come with drinks or something like that. Oh, okay. So if they're making a theater experience, that makes sense. Now, I wouldn't purchase a theater experience. Give me the seats in the back. And Luna, they're supposed to have the Piano Man, which was Elton John. I'm personally not a big Elton John fan. And for me, I'm like, why didn't y'all put Prince on Luna since her color scape is like purple, mostly purple, a little blue. But yeah, if I can see them doing like finding something to charge for. So maybe it's like a dinner and a drinks kind of thing, or dinner and a show type of thing. But I don't see them charging the whole show $45 and think they're gonna fill it up. So maybe and like I would maybe drinks, like a quick meal, some snacks, and then premium seating, priority seating towards the front or something like that. But yeah, I would need more details about that because I don't see that being a lucrative model at all. My Christian family says, yeah, I remember when I was younger, I heard Cats is long. Yes, Cats is long. And I thought they were going to do like, a interpretation, what is it called? A segment of it. No, they did the full Cats presentation, Oasis of the Seas. And I should have went there like my first day of the cruise versus towards my last day of the cruise. So I spent half of my last day of the cruise in the Oasis Theater, like trying to figure out who was going to the Jellicle lair. Keisha Hustle says definitely her girlfriend. Hey, yes. No, I know that that's her girlfriend, but I didn't want to call her just like girlfriend because Lena Waithe has her own like right and stature in the like entertainment community. So I didn't want her to like how they do like with like, Bill Clinton, like that's his wife. And like, no, that's the Hillary Clinton, like badass lawyer, or Michelle Obama, like that's Barack's wife. And it's like, no, Michelle has been a baddie. So I didn't want to like just like girlfriend her. And I was like, no, I need to call her name because Lena Waithe is like, she's a G in the entertainment industry for sure. But yes, that is. And child, we all forgot that was her girlfriend watching them cut up at all those, what is it called? The premieres of, I'm forgetting, I have so much word retrieval issues. Wicked. Those PR tours of Wicked, child. I was like, Lena, come get your girl because it's getting a little weird. Let's see. I hope you get a good show. Same. Tara, hey Tammy, thanks for being here. Since I need to join this NYC meetup. Yeah, come on up to NYC, March 28th, Cash Jellicle Ball, doing a 2 o'clock show. And looks like we're gonna meet up at Dallas BBQs afterwards. And I gotta figure out a way to I'll put like a post, like a YouTube post. But if you want to email me in the meantime, just to like say we know who to look all for or whatever, who's all actually interested, let me know. Um, it's just Renee says Spirit is definitely in trouble. They have had a few failed merges with other lines, and then didn't somebody block? Because who was it? Was it American or JetBlue? Spirit had found a really good potential merger, and I think the other airline girls got nervous and cried monopoly and like kind of blocked that merger from happening. So yeah, but with these cancellations, it's making me worry for her. I don't know what's going on. Melina says, add me to the list. Yep, Spirit canceled me at 2 a.m. for a 5 a.m. flight on Valentine's Day. Jen, and that's what happened to Jen. She said she was on her way to the woke up, for a 5 a.m. flight and woke up to her flight being canceled. So yeah, just buyer, traveler beware on Spirit. Something's interesting going on. But I'm definitely going to go to Baltimore and stay in the Spirit line because I need to use this $226 credit. Because you can go under, but don't go under with my money, okay? Okay. Big Merce Life says, yes, returning April 3rd. Port is Fort Lauderdale. So it might not be as bad because Fort Lauderdale isn't too, but then you got all the spill off people from Miami who couldn't fly into Miami and fly into Port. We're going to keep you lifted. Everybody stretch your hands towards Murph and say, buddy pass. Ken Hill says Spirit changed my flight for the solo trip in June and canceled my return flight Friday. They're canceling flights all the way out to ooh, it's not looking good, y'all. Something's going on. Cruise campuses, we have several ports we can drive to. And I miss the good girl South Carolina. That Charleston, oh my gosh. Talking about, we talked about the worst port experience. That Charleston cruise port, so I flew in the night before. And Charleston was to the point that I was just like, get me out of here. Because y'all are going to have to roll me back to DC. When I say only thing I did that night before Charleston was literally go from restaurant to bar to restaurant to 2 different live music venues, which shout out to Charleston for actually still having live music venues, because I know live music is hard to find here in DC. To the next morning, the brunch. I had to get the heck out of Charleston. That is one good city for eating, child. But yeah, I think you're probably gonna see me driving to a few more ports for a bit. If I really have to squeeze in a trip for April to make the content work, because I know I'm gonna run out of content April 12th. If I have to squeeze in a trip, it's gonna be one of these local ports where I could just drive and park. Naya says, is it Nia or Naya? Says Norfolk cruises aren't worth it. I live about 30 minutes away. I look at the price and said, nope, not on the oldest ship. And there have been roach sightings. There was definitely I had a roach sighting on Carnival Sunshine. I enjoyed my cruise. I enjoyed the ship, but I definitely lost about 2 nights worth of sleep because I was up being grown on the cruise and finally had a cruise where I was like, ooh, first off, the cruise is so interesting that it kept me up to 11. It was actually a good nightclub, everything. And so I was kicking it, came back to my room at 11 p.m., good and tired, and saw a roach skedaddling across my headboard. And it was interesting. People were trying to say in the comments that I planted it because I wanted some free stuff, all kind of stuff. And there are people in the comments who were agreeing that there are roach spottings on Carnival Sunshine. But it was a cool ship. When it was out of Charleston, you had a really good group of people because you had North Carolina, South Carolina, and Atlanta. And just imagine all the activities is North Carolina, South Carolina, and Atlanta people. So the nightclub was lit, the Lido was lit, the people, when I say lit, just good people to talk to, good people to kick it with. The nightclub was popping because people were actually dancing, and they played all the good music because people were dancing. So they just got to figure out how to wrap it in bubble wrap and hit it with some pesticides or something. Naya says, maybe if they get a better ship at Norfolk, I'll hop on. They're supposed to get no whale tail Freedom. It's supposed to come to Norfolk. And I will drive down for that one because I have not sailed Freedom, Carnival Freedom. So, yo, listen, it's $45, 45 American dollars Tammy says, I have never been on a cruise. We got to change that, Tammy. I don't know where to start. I'm an extrovert that gets along with most people, but I also don't like too much peopling. And a cruise feels like I start to feel trapped. Do a short 4 or 5 day cruise on Virgin Voyages. I feel like it's your non-traditional cruise experience. I feel like there are plenty of opportunities if you want to be around people, or if you don't want to be around people. And then you do a shorter cruise so that like about, either day 4 or day 5, you can figure out like, do I like cruising? Will I do a longer one? Or like, cool experience, but not for me. So I would say Virgin Voyages, 4 day or 5 day cruise. And yes, I know you'll hit me up. I think that would be a good start. Knowing you, Tammy is one of my friends from high school. So yeah, I think knowing you, that Virgin Voyages will be a good intro to cruising starter kit. Because I think Royal would be too cheesy. Carnival would be too much peopling. NCL might be too slow of a start. And then everyone else will be kind of like too niche cruising. So I think Virgin would be a good intro. Or honorable mention, I would say maybe one of the Royal shorter sailings. So Utopia, the Seas, or Wonder. But I think knowing you, let's start with Virgin. Yellow says we ain't paying for no shows. No, we paid for the shows and a cruise ticket. Now, if you want to make it a cute little, dinner, whatever situation, I'm not buying it. I appreciate your hustle, Norwegian, but I'm not doing it. It's just every day says the Prince show is definitely worth it. Good to know. I have to hop on that Aqua because Aqua's coming to NYC. So I was debating. I was like, to prepare for if anybody's interested in trying Norwegian, to prepare for the Good Gov getaway with Romeo Norwegian, I was like, oh, I can hop on Aqua since those are kind of like pretty much mirror images. Norwegian Luna is going to be a tad bit bigger than Aqua. But I want to see the Prince show. But I was debating, like, do I hop on Aqua or do I hop on Luna and actually like map out the actual ship? Or do I hop on its cousin just to see Prince? Naya says exactly that. There are many places to escape. I say go. Do a 3 or 4 night to start. Yellow says I saw the real Prince 3 times. I'm good. So she don't have me to see him on a cruise ship. I've only seen a real Prince once, but I am definitely a Prince fan. I would pay I heard that show is good on Aqua. That would probably be the only cruise ship show that you could like, I would entertain possibly paying. Liam is here. Hi, Liam. Liam says, I missed a lot. I'll run it back. Thank you, Liam, for being Team Replay. Much appreciated. Good to see you here. And love this thumbnail. It's a very serene landscape. Let's see. Adventurer says, Cat used to have their own Broadway theater. Never saw Cats until I was older, in my 30s, and I had moved to Georgia. Never went to the original building, Empire State Building either. Yeah, I didn't do a lot of New York sightseeing. I think of the spaces in New York, I want to, I still want to go to Statue of Liberty, even though when you leave out of New York, you really get a really good, or Bayonne, you really get a really good view of Statue of Liberty. But I would love to go out to Ellis Island. I've been to the 9/11 Memorial, but I want to go inside to the 9/11 Museum, which I heard you have to like get tickets ahead of time for. But I've never done like a ton of sightseeing in New York. Like whenever I go to New York, it's pretty much like go for a play, come back, go for a cruise, at the Moynihan station, go to the cruise port, come back home. I've never spent like a whole lot of time out and about in NYC. Tammy says, is a short trip worth it? I guess so, huh? Yes, I think a short cruise is definitely worth it. Particularly on Virgin because so much is like included. So you get your Wi-Fi, you'll get some specialty. Their dining setup is specialty dining, so it's kind of like instead of having a main dining room, you have smaller restaurant concepts. But yeah, 3 to 4, it's worth it because it helps you decide if you actually like cruising. But like there's really good value. And then I've been seeing a lot of good solo deals floating around for Virgin. Like I think I saw some posts for like 700, 800 between, I saw Melanin Sea was posting. I saw MH Adventures posting some really good solo deals. So the deals are out there, particularly if you go like later in the year. I think November, December, I was seeing those lower prices. So it's definitely worth it just to see if, yay and nay if you like it. Lisa says, don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't. Cheryl says, I think I heard 4 curated drinks come with the show. Okay. I'm like, something has to come with the show because they can't just be charging for the show because good, bad, indifferent. I know nobody's paying $45 for a cruise ship show. I don't even know what cruise line like would you even pay for Royal Caribbean's like Aqua Theater? So let alone like these singing shows they have on Norwegian. So I figured it had to be a hook to it, like some premium seating, a cocktail experience, make a cute little date night. And then, if you're a casino player on ships, the loyalty people, they're gonna start giving it to them for free anyway. So, but now I'm good with parking in the back of the theater. And I like to sit in the back of the theater on the end seat just so I can get the heck out of there. I give it 5 minutes, and if I don't want to stay for the show, I want to get on. So, Liam says these companies are getting money hungry. The people are getting money hungry. Like that dollar is not stretching the way it used to stretch at all. Naya says, here it is. How do you like being a travel agent? I love being a travel agent. A, because I'm my number one customer. And B, I really do find joy in like planning for people, finding those little like nuanced situations. Like, okay, if you're doing this, if you're catching a train, we want to put you near the hotel near the train. Like, I enjoy it. I enjoy it for sure. I've been a travel agent since 2022. And it's funny, like all the things I said I was not going to do, I have started doing. So I literally, and speaking of travel agent, I need to literally get off this because I got travel agent things to do. I got like 2 people I need to call and 2 people I need to book. But yeah, I've been one since 2022. So when I started my channel, I was like, I'm not gonna be a travel agent. I'm just gonna start my channel. So I started my channel in 2022. Then I met the midships and one other lady, and they were just like, you should add the travel agent component. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna book nobody. I'm just gonna book myself and be my own client. Then I started booking people. So now I've just added the component on now where I also do the whole thing of helping other people set up their businesses to be travel advisors too. So if you're interested in adding a travel agent component to your life, hit me up. I can help you get started. But yeah, I like being one. It's definitely like one of those situations of like, what is it? Make money off of your hobby. Like if you really enjoy something, to make money off of it. So I was always that friend who was just, I'm always gone. I'm always traveling. My friends would hit me up for recommendations. So now it was kind of like, instead of, getting like part-time work, all this other stuff, it's like, no, you can actually have like a fun part-time job, which is travel planning. So, and making the videos. So yeah, and sharing the adventures with you all. Yellow says, oh man, I'll miss the meetup this time. Dang. Oh, that's the one. So JetBlue and Spirit were about to merge, and they got all the airline girlies nervous. So then the whole piece of it, the whole merger fell through, which it sounds like. See, and I hope they didn't get caught with the okie doke of like JetBlue was about to swoop in, and then they made them pull out, and then next thing you know, like American's going to take over Spirit, or I don't think Delta would swoop in, but like some other, or Frontier and Spirit might merge. Like it'll be interesting to see. Tammy says, watching these Monday chats is selling me on cruises. I hadn't thought to do a short one. I'm going to find a 4. Yes, do 4 night, because 3 night is too short. 3 night, you literally unpack night 1, or you arrive night 1, you have a whole night 2, and then night 3, you are thinking about going home already. So definitely at least start with a 4 night. Let's see. All right, y'all, I got to start doing it's so much stuff in the chat. Thank y'all. Rich and Jai's in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Thanks for being here. Let's see. These twins graduate. Virginia calling my name. I need a port near me too. How is Norfolk? I have not cruised out of Norfolk, but I've heard Norfolk can be tricky. Who else? Life with Us. That's Life with Us TV's home port. I think they've done a few cruises out of Norfolk. Fats and Tree also have done cruises out of Norfolk. I have not cruised out of Norfolk, but I've heard just kind of through the grapevine that you have to be mindful of. I think parking situation in Norfolk, where allegedly like there's some break-ins of cars, and then it's not a super convenient port. I don't know. Like it's kind of like you park one place and you're kind of further out. I don't know if that's true because I thought there was a whole parking garage right there. But do your research on Norfolk because I heard of some nuances. But I know personally, I would love to drive down there to cruise out because it's only a 3.5 hour drive down from DC. So I'm gonna look at it when they get Freedom, Carnival Freedom comes down. But yeah, all righty, let's see. So thanks for y'all for being here. We will be live next Monday. I think on Sunday, I'm gonna try to put together another margarita. I shouldn't tell y'all because then I start planning. I'm like, I don't want to make that video, but I think I'm gonna make Margaritaville at Sea. The final Margaritaville at Sea vlog, which will include like some of the activities on Margaritaville at Sea. And then I was also able to get to Cruza Beach Club. So I kind of want to show that one before. I know they're starting to open up, and I know it's going to be a bunch more vlogs coming. So I'm like, I probably need to throw my video in the hat since it's some new beach club down there. We'll see what I actually produce, but definitely, of course, we have our usual announcements. And there was an announcement that I wanted to tell y'all that I totally forgot. That was something, I don't know. I'm forgetting things. But as always, we have our usual announcements that we close with. Final call on the whoops, let me do this. Okay. Final call on the ultimate solo group cruise. So if you are a solo traveler, cruiser, or even you can bring like, couples can come, best friend groups, whatever. You don't have to necessarily be solo to come. Final call on the ultimate solo group cruise with the Jen Yell Experience and Sig the Solo Cruiser and I. June 22nd to the 26th out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's a great opportunity to try Celebrity Cruise Lines on Celebrity Reflection. Then we have the Good Gov Getaway, which is October 9th to 11th, 2026, where we are going to be doing the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, which is my favorite festival that Epcot has. Of course, eating and drinking around the world at Epcot, and then being some Disney adults and going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. October 9th to 11th, that one is kind of meetup style. So it's only like a quick little $30 registration fee, and that's just to give you some of the things needed to have all the maximize one, so I know you actually coming. And two, it includes like a shirt, and then some of the other activities they're going to do. So quick little $30 registration fee. You can scan that QR code. And those are 2 trips for 2026. Then in 2027, which that's the announcement. Next Monday, I will be having my co-host for the Ultimate Land and Sea on with me here at the Monday Meetup. Sig, Raquel, Siobhan, Kiki, and Regina will all be here talking about why you should come with us to have a good time in New Orleans and then hop on a Carnival Dream for the Ultimate Land and Sea. So if you're here for the Monday Meetup next week, all of them will be here. Then we have the trip that I am most excited about, which is the Greek Isles and Egyptian Nights, which is Virgin Voyages, Scarlet Lady. We're going to Santorini, Mykonos, Rhodes, Ephesus, Turkey, and Cairo, Egypt. We are there in Cairo overnight. So you get 3 countries in one trip. That's over the Juneteenth holiday, so June 10th to the 20th, 2027. You can scan that code if you want to join us there. And then we were talking about the Good Girlfriend Norwegian Cruise Lines. If you want a group of folks to try Norwegian with, we have a group of about 24 people so far on the Good Gov Getaway 2027. Again, a great opportunity to, if you don't want to have to buy those tickets, you're on the East Coast, we get to try out the new ship, Norwegian Luna, 5 days to Bermuda. And that is the Good Gov Getaway 2027. And then stay tuned because, I am a planner, so I'm already starting to think about what 2028 might look like. And that ends the announcements. Let's see. So it's seriously, thanks for coming to chat with me. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's see. And let's see, I like to end on a positive note. We will end with Cruising Caper saying, have a great week, everyone. Yes, make it a great week. And I will see y'all in these YouTube streets. It's COC. Thanks for chatting with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good evening, y'all.